Greetings everybody, this is the final boss battle of Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and this is the only video that I'm starting off showing my character builds of my boss guides, because I actually had to respec all of my characters to get through this boss fight. Again, all these boss videos that I've made so far are basically straight through the game, kind of progressing organically, not revisiting the levels that I beat to complete the challenges and get extra coins and get extra power orbs to level up my character. So I'm in no way overpowered for this fight. But so you can go back and pause and see exactly where I put my points. But the highlights, the overarching theme is that I moved all of the points that I had in slide and jump abilities, especially for Mario and for Rabbid Peach, into their special abilities. This boss fight is structured very strange compared to the previous three boss fights. It still has 3 stages like every good Mario game, right? But this boss fight, the first stage, I believe is the hardest. And that is because it has 4 valkyries here at the beginning. And that's your #1 priority, to take these guys out right away. The second and the third stage, it is incredibly easy to avoid Bowser's attacks. On the second stage, it is also very easy, if you know what's coming, to take out all the additional enemies and kill them before they have an opportunity to really damage you. The second stage has a bunch of the shield guys, the blockers, bucklers, I believe they're called. So anyway, I think I've talked about this in the other videos, but Rabbid Peach and Luigi are this is my favorite team here for boss fights. This is probably the best, hands down, combination of people. I would also recommend, if you have a little bit of extra gold, buying the weapons that give bonus push or bounce chances on valkyries, because when you combine Mario's M power and Luigi's Steely Stare, especially when his Steely Stare is fully upgraded, it gets 3 movement reaction shots, which is insane. So you're getting 70% boost to Luigi's damage on that ability, and 3 extra shots that you can have trigger when you push the enemies with Rabbid Peach's or Mario's normal weapon attacks. So that ends up being an extremely powerful combo for taking out the additional enemies and for getting a couple extra attacks in on Bowser between turns, I guess, or on the enemy's turn, technically. So for the first stage of the boss fight, you have the Valkyries. Focus them down first. You want to have your people... So on the very first enemy attack, Bowser is going to spit fire at you. If you put Mario and Luigi and Rabbid Peach in the general positions that I put them in, I don't know the exact conditions for triggering specific attacks from the boss, but that one seems very easy to replicate. And then on the second turn, you want to spread all 3 of your teammates out around the arena, because if you do that, then Bowser on his second turn will then use his, I don't know if there's a name for it, but his Siren Call, his ability that's essentially the equivalent of, oh god, is it Rabbid Mario? The one that draws enemies to you, and then he stomps the ground. So if you spread out around the arena far enough away from him, as you can see there, he pulls you in, and then he managed to only hit Luigi there, which is fine. Like, Luigi is the weakest of everybody on the field, but it's not the end of the world that he got hit once. If all 3 of your teammates, or all 3 of your people get hit there, that can cause a bit of a headache. but just having one person get hit, not that big of a deal. So now that all the additional enemies are taken out, we're just going to start dumping as much damage into Bowser as possible. Now, as you transition to the second stage of this boss fight, a couple important things to know. Bowser is going to, for the second stage, he is going to move to the exact opposite side of the arena from where you started. So if you think of Bowser starting, centrally, and your team starting on the south, Bowser will then move north. And he will move around the arena clockwise. He will move around the arena clockwise after you have entered the second stage. Also, the additional enemies for the second stage are the shield guys. They spawn around the center area where Bowser first started. So I know right now that the next shot I take is going to knock Bowser into the second stage, which is fine. I also need to mention this. In this first stage, when Bowser has the fire underneath his feet like that, that means that he is in his own Overwatch movement-triggered reaction fire stage. And you can use the RC car from Luigi or Rabbid Peach to actually trigger his Overwatch ability. It will not do enough damage to destroy the RC car, and it will avoid one of your own people taking the damage from Bowser. So Bowser's in the second stage now. Now I know, so all the scorched earth places on the ground, those are the locations where the fireballs are always going to hit after every turn. And after I finish this turn, the shield guys are going to spawn basically in a circle around the center of the arena. So I am now moving all of my pieces into the middle of the arena so that all the shield guys' backs will be facing me after they spawn, and into positions where I'm not going to get hit by the fireballs on Bowser's next turn. Bowser, you do not want to use cover really at all on the second stage, at least for the first turn. If you're stuck in a really crappy position and you're worried about one of the shield guys getting you, you may need to use cover, but the fireballs all hit the concrete looking blocks, and the splash damage from the fireballs actually will burn anybody that's using the concrete blocks as cover and push them away. So there's no point in being adjacent to any of the concrete blocks. Okay, so here we go. Shield guys spawned. I'm in the middle. All of their backs are facing me. I have Mario's M-Power ability ready to be used to buff up all of my teammates' abilities. On this turn, I'm going to do my best to kill every single shield guy. I'm not going to put any damage into Bowser until the next turn. Also, I talked about this at the start, but I respect all of my guys to have very little damage with their slide and their team jump abilities. It still doesn't hurt to use them. It doesn't cost you anything really. But don't. They're not going to be game changing for you in the way that getting off of a 3 or 4 person slide, especially with the position that these guys are in, like Rabbid Peach. She can get up to, I think, a 5-person slide with quite a bit of damage per slide, which makes for a really nice combo in a situation like this, but I don't have the points in her to make it really worth my while to do that. So at the beginning of this stage, I triggered, at the beginning of this turn, I triggered Mario's M-Power. I also used Luigi's Steely Stare. And then because so many of my abilities, weapons have push on them, I know that you know, sometimes they're 90% chance to push or bounce, that anytime I push one of them, Luigi's reaction shot will do enough to kill them. Probably even get a golden shot. I think I've got 2 golden shots already out of 2 on Luigi. I'm not going to be able to do enough damage to this third guy to kill him, so I'm moving Peach away from him enough, and Luigi away from him enough, that I will not take a lot of shotgun damage from him. So remember, these shield guys have shotguns. So the closer you are to him, the more damage you're going to take. Mario's going to take a little bit of damage here because he already used his move. And I'm moving my guys to the south of the arena. I probably should have moved them to the southwest, I guess, in anticipation of the next turn, even, to do damage to Bowser, so that I can be within range of him. And, you know, the fact that I'm only taking 1 shot of damage this entire second stage from 1 shield guy shooting at Mario for just a little bit of damage, like I'm probably gonna take 50 damage here, 48, and I get inked. Ink, you know, the team jump cleansing ability costs 10 power orbs, almost next to nothing, and is incredibly helpful at this point in the game. So I'm going to bounce Rabbid Peach off of Mario to cleanse him, so that Mario can get a shot in on the shield guy. I'm also attacking the shield guy, fully knowing that he's being protected by Bowser, because I know that some of the damage is going to get transferred to Bowser, but I do not want, in any shape or form, an extra shield guy to be out on the field when the third and final stage of the fight comes up. The third stage, the enemies spawn in, I think, the exact same places as they did on the second stage, but it's the bashers, the guys that have the big ice blocks or lava blocks or whatever on their back, that get reaction movement and do melee damage after you shoot them with a weapon. So on the third stage, I'm actually going to ignore all the additional enemies completely and focus all of my attacks, well, if possible. There's always exceptions to every strategy and every rule, but for the most part, I'm going to do everything I can to avoid attacking the additional enemies on the third stage, and just focus down Bowser, just to kill him as quickly as possible, do as much damage, and kill the boss as quickly as humanly possible. So because of my angle here, I did not... so if I had team jumped there before shooting Bowser and then put a shot into the shield guy, I would have been able to kill him. So I probably took the wrong move there. I also saved my my hero sight overwatch ability on Mario there, and oh, well, I got lucky to where this guy got pushed to by the burn, and he was out of the range of attacking anybody else because he wanted to get behind cover. So Bowser's health is low enough at this point that I can play strategically. I can think about basically burning a turn to get all of my teammates, or all of my team members, into the correct position, have their cooldowns be in the right spot, and all that good stuff. So I'm going to try to take out the shield guy, as you're going into the third stage, you're going to want your teammates to be spread out a little bit. Maybe not as much as I did here, because so the third stage, Bowser is basically going to turn into a giant spinning shell and be in the middle of the arena and spin outwards towards whatever teammates are there. And he will destroy, but kind of get stunned on the concrete blocks that are all around the outsides of the arena. So you want to be able, you want your pieces to be on the outside of the arena with, you know, behind cover, essentially. They don't necessarily need to be touching cover, but they do need to have cover between them and Bowser in the middle of the arena. So here we go, third stage of the boss fight. When his big red orb is up like that, you can't do damage to him. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your shots. Don't do anything. He's going to spin on his next turn, and when he hits one of those concrete pillars, he will then get stunned and be vulnerable to attacks. So he went for Luigi there. So like I was saying at the beginning of this, you want your guys to be spread out a little bit. And I actually timed one of my abilities perfectly there, because Luigi had 2 or 3 reaction shots on on Bowser, like during Bowser's transition phase between the second and the third stage. So I haven't even taken a shot on Bowser technically on his third stage, and he's already down to 1,000 health. So I'm going to be able to take him out pretty quickly. If you're not sure how far the smashers are going to move, don't hesitate to go into the Tacticam, highlight them, and then anywhere within that blue radius is how far they can actually walk. And from there, any adjacent square is where they can smash. So again, this third stage, you don't necessarily need to worry so much about being on cover or being on full cover. You just need to have the concrete pillars between you and Bowser so that you don't get spun off by Bowser. I took a shot at one of the smashers here with Mario just because I really didn't have much else to do with him on this turn, and I made a positioning error here because there's a giant crack in the arena that's going to make it kind of challenging for Mario to get close enough to Peach and Luigi so that Mario can then buff up his teammates with his M-Power 70% damage boost to his teammates. If I had them closer and I was able to use Mario's M-Power on this turn, I might have even been able to kill Bowser on this turn. It would have been close. Maybe, maybe not really sure, but it would have been very close. So, yeah, anyway, so you can see right there, I know that Peach needs to move just 1 square away, out of the range of being adjacent to any of the blue squares, and adjacent means diagonal in this game. These guys can attack diagonally, and that counts. Why didn't I move Rabbid Peach there? I just saw that she was in position to get hit. I wonder if that guy's gonna smash her. Oh, well, I think Rabbid Peach would have got smashed there. Yep, she did. Okay. She would have got smashed twice if it wasn't for Luigi's reaction shot, drawing away the other guy. So I'm going to use Luigi's Itchy Feet, which is also fully upgraded, which gives 3 extra movements, 3 extra squares of movement when it's fully upgraded, and the range on how far it affects is pretty big too. And now I actually have the ability, so like right now I'm kind of playing, I'm playing for this, I'm making my checkmate move. I'm not necessarily caring about where any of my teammates are in relation to the smashers. I just want them all to be close enough to Mario that they can all be within range of his M-Power ability, and then to get off a good attack on Bowser with every single person on the team, just unload on him with as much damage as possible and try to finish him off. So anyway, thanks for checking out this video. God, this game was fun. I wish the enemies scaled a little bit better for difficulty later on in the game, and for replaying missions, because it would have made the boss fights a little bit more fun for replayability. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and game on.